Stage. All right, can we hear now? We're malfunctioning just like the hold on, wait a minute. Let's switch to the other microphone. We're malfunctioning just like the New York Football Giants here. I don't know what's going on with the monitor. I don't know what's going on with the camera, but we're gonna plow on through this today. It's like figure out what the fuck is going on here because everything's gone to shit like the Giants. It's one of those things that you just oh no, they killed me. They killed me, James. James has got it right. They killed me. They took me off the air. They didn't want me. I got a phone call from John Mayer saying that they didn't want me to talk anymore. Oh, you knew they weren't going to win yesterday. You knew they weren't going to win. I mean, it was advantageous to say the least that you knew they weren't going to come through in the clutch. You knew they weren't going to come up like 7-up. We all knew it. I mean, it's not like it was anything that we didn't know. But one of the sad things was we got to watch Michael Penix Jr. We got to watch whom should have been our starting quarterback if Joe Schoen had the foresight and wherewithal to turn around and draft the kid instead of going with Malik Neighbors. I'm not bashing Malik Neighbors because he set the rookie giant catch record yesterday. But I'm still befuddled and confused with Malik, how he's 3 yards in a cloud of dust. And I think that's interesting. I think that's the interesting point here. He's 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Let's see if we can't move this over here. Hold on, guys. I got an idea here to fix the camera. I got an idea here, guys. Let's see here. Let's see if we can start the camera. All right, you know what? That's a better way. Hold on, let's see here. We're gonna have to go old school here. Old school crazy looking, because you know what? I don't know. The whole camera thing just got messed up and befuddled. Hold on, we're gonna see if we can't switch to the camera. No, it's not even allowing us. It's not allowing us to switch to the good camera. But on a side note, we thought the same thing. We thought that we were gonna lose this game. We thought it's alive. We thought we were gonna find a way to screw this up, and of course we didn't yesterday. The Raiders, though, gave us all the help in the The Raiders gave us all the help in the world. But you know what? Please be better, Tim. Oh, there we go. All right, we're here. We're trying to get the other camera to work, though, guys. I don't know what the fuck's going on with the other camera, but we've said it before. Joe Schoen did not have the wherewithal to draft the one called Michael Penix. Michael Penix didn't look like a rookie. The lone blemish was a Kyle Pitts drop going into the end zone. That was his lone blemish on this entire situation. And people that follow the show know we talked about it ad nauseum. We said, hey, listen, we want Penix. If it was me, I said I would trade out of 6, draft Penix, either grab Keenan Coleman in the second round or try to come back in the later half in the first round and grab someone like Ladin McConkey or Brian Thomas Jr. All Brian Thomas Jr. does is score touchdowns. Trenton Wright coming in with the super chat. My Eagles lost thanks to Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett is just not an NFL quarterback. He's part of that 2022 draft that we talk about so fondly. That was the Malik Willis draft.
I find you gotta get to work.
Or we'll call it the Willie Beeman draft because I can't find the Malik because everything's screwed up. That was part of that draft when there was really no quarterback. I mean, you should have known that Kenny Pickett, who was a 5th-year starter at Pitt, who peaked his 5th season, should not have been in that first round. But he was that's all they had. That's all they had. And you know what? The Eagles came back. They tried to make it their best, but it just didn't work. But I mean, I'm not bashing Malik Neighbors, but I got some problems with Malik. Has he not learned? And this is coaching. This illegal motion penalties he's always getting. Okay, Malik, it's not difficult to figure out that you must stop a full second before the play is snapped. Just throwing that out there. And I mean, and I'm confused about the lack of yak. I'm watching Brian Thomas Jr. with 73 receptions of 1,000 1,088 yards and 9 touchdowns at almost 15 yards a catch with 50 less targets. With 50 less targets, and he has more yards and more touchdowns than the guy that's our hero, and he's playing with Mac Jones. He's playing with Mac Basketball Jones. What the fuck? And we've said this before. You would think Malik, by accident, would break a big play. Just by accident. When you get targeted the most amounts in the league. And yes, the Brian Thomas Jr., he is now the favorite folk hero of all Giant fans after that big touchdown. I'm gonna see if I can't switch cameras again. I don't know why this is like this. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what's going on here. No, we're still not getting any camera switching. I don't know why. It's bugging the hell out of me. 2 to go. You know, I really can't sit here and follow this team much longer. I really can't. I mean, it's distressing. It's painful to watch. That's, I think, is a huge problem. It's fucking painful to watch. How you can keep Brian Dable, and Art Stapleton. I love Art Stapleton. He had it in his paper today that at 9-7, that the Giants need to bring back Brian Dable. Oh no, we know what it is. Hold on, wait a minute. We got it from Art Stapleton.
Stupid Giant Twitter post.
This one coming back from Art Stapleton saying that 9-7 season has saved Brian Dable and Joe Schoen and will allow them to pick their own quarterback. The stupidity in that is they were 9-7-1. Art, you're a beat writer. Why should you get the record right? And we were 9-7-1. And we started 7-2, finished 2-5-1, went 6-11, and now we are a 2-win team. You have nosedived. You have literally taken everything and just kind of went and crashed. You have crashed everything in 3 years. I thought Gettleman and Judge was bad. Yikes. This makes Judge and Gettleman look good. Joe Judge is sitting there somewhere in the etherverse or the universe or the metaverse or wherever saying, I wasn't too bad, was I, guys? This offense has no rhythm. This offense has no continuity. It's almost like we don't have Josh Allen at quarterback. Oh, because maybe that's why Brian Dable is good. Maybe that's why Joe Schoen was good, because they had some guy named Josh Allen. Man made the money, money never made the man. But Josh Allen made Joe Schoen and Brian Dable. The new era starts in darkness. I like that, Skylar. That's a good one. Just like the Giants, the stream is malfunctioning. Yep. The beginning there where there's nothing, and they wait back. And then on the third day, Giant YouTube was created. Here we go again. Oh, no, they killed me. Yep, you're right. What's up, Damian? Yo. What's up, cool? Because it's cool being cool, Mo D. On the bright side, the Falcons rookie looked good. He looked good. He looked like an NFL quarterback. Everyone, I love this. Thank God for the fucking Knicks. This is what breaks my brain a little bit today. They're going to release Kirk Cousins because he's owed a $10 million roster bonus in March. They already guaranteed and paid him $100 million. So they're going to release him because they're going to go with Penix next year. There's no doubt in my mind. Penix is the guy we should have drafted. And Cousins looks shot. He looks done. Sometimes it happens with a professional athlete. Sometimes you just kind of reach a peak. You kind of reach that crescendo and you start falling off the cliff. He looks shot. So Giant fans who didn't want to draft Penix now want to have Kirk Cousins as the bridge. So now you want to have Kirk Cousins. You didn't want to draft Penix, but now you want to have Kirk Cousins as the bridge. I love it because it was Big Dash Sports. He had it on Twitter today that all of a sudden now that the Giants may have one of the first 2 picks, and he was alluding to it. But I'll say it. I'll fucking say it. He was alluding to the fact that the first 2 picks are quarterbacks are black. They're black men. So you basically alluded to all of a sudden now with the Giants having these two picks, there's a certain segment of the fan base that wants a perfect quarterback, and these two guys aren't it. Two more losses. Sanders is our quarterback. I still like Cam Ward. Dr. Garrett says Tim lost video because he's in a plane circling the dump that is called MetLife. I want to give a big shout out to anyone that is on that plane because you're freaking awesome. You are freaking awesome to me if you're on that plane. Let's see. How about them Commanders? It's amazing what a quarterback can do for a franchise. We talked about the Commanders in training camp. I thought the Commanders were going to be a lot better than the Giants. I did think the Cowboys were going to be better than the Commanders, but I did think the Commanders had an opportunity to be a team that had a winning record. I didn't think a playoff team. I thought they would have a winning record. I thought they would win like 9 games, maybe, but I laughed though, because everyone was like, well, they just got all these old guys. They went on and got these free agents. They were old guys. Remember when the Carolina Panthers under Dave Gettleman went 15-1 and went to the Super Bowl under Ron Rivera, and the free agent class was like everyone over 30. Sometimes it happens, guys. James Williams, are you ever going to debate Cop Bizzle? I told James, and I'm not calling James out, but I told James, if you want to give these idiots $100, know what you need to do? You need to go and tell them, okay, I'll give you $100. Tell me what charity you want me to donate that money to. Then we'll see how much they want to have James on. Oh my God, it's Tim. What's up, Timmy? What's up, Vinny G? Let's see here. At Todd says, at this point, I'll forfeit 2 games. I own them. Imagine the savings of not traveling. I said the same thing. Can we forfeit? Is it wrong if we forfeit some games? I mean, do we really even have to show up? I mean, honestly, let's just be honest about this. Can we just be like, we don't want to play? We kind of forfeit games anyways. Kind of. And the other thing with the motion penalties that's bugging me about Malik, on that 55-yard interception return against the Giants, who was the guy that was running right behind the corner who intercepted? Who was that guy? I think he's like a speedster. I think he's our speed demon. Oh, he stopped running. We blast Deontay Banks for not hustling and running to the play. Malik just stopped. It's just like there was still 30 yards to go. He's like, fuck it. He's too far. I'm not gonna run after that guy. Look how far away he is. We got the Big Don, of course, dropping in the gifts for 5 memberships to Online Big Blue OG Club. You get all your videos early. Make sure you stay tuned for that. So it's $1.99 because they won't allow me to give it for free. So we have to thank the Donner, because we already have the Dahmer. But I just laugh at the fact that he just stopped. Malik just stopped. There was 30 yards to go. But we're not blasting Malik Neighbors because Malik Neighbors is this all-world talent who doesn't have a yak. But we're not blasting him. We're blasting Deontay Banks because he didn't run to a play. It's already happening again. It's already happening. And what's going to happen continuously if Neighbors does not perform and he does things like this and you go a little bit more down the road in his career, you're going to have the OBJ effect. And I never thought OBJ did anything bad, honestly. I never did. Where do we go, my lovely? Blackbird said, I won money live betting the Commanders and Eagles game. I knew the Eagles were going to lose when they went up 21-7. Eagles lost a minute, Jalen Hurts. If you want to talk about we always talk about how the importance of the quarterback. Look at the importance of Jalen Hurts to that team. When Jalen Hurts got hurt a couple of years ago, it's the same thing. Let's see. Mr. Taz says, if the Eagles win next Sunday in Dallas, I can practically feel the urge for them to lose versus the Giants intentionally to ruin. You're gonna do another Doug Peterson, right? You're gonna fuck it up like Doug did. Daryl says, good morning, Tim. The amount of fans still saying they shouldn't have picked Penix over Neighbors is criminal. You should have taken Penix. You are in the 2004, 83. Those are the draft classes people remember because there's Hall of Famers, there's Super Bowl winners. There's MVPs. I'm not saying this draft is going to be that, but you already got Caleb Williams. It's on a bad Bears team who's getting better, but you could see he's an NFL quarterback. Drake May is an NFL quarterback. Penix looks like he's going to be an NFL quarterback. You start wondering about J.J. McCarthy, see what he's going to be. Bo Nix is like I said, I was 100% wrong on Bo Nix. I said Bo Nix was a more athletic Daniel Jones, but let's see what happens to Bo Nix in year 2. But you have these guys. There's 5-6 guys you could have taken. Neighbors is like Burns at a time. He was not a necessity. He was a necessity because you gave an idiot $160 million and you figured, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get all NFL conventional wisdom. And I'm going to draft a quarterback. I'm assuming a wide receiver to fix the quarterback. And people want Joe Shane back. Think about this a second, though. Giants would probably not be a 2-win team. You don't give Daniel Jones the money or you get rid of Daniel Jones. You draft Penix. You either bring in someone like Keenan Coleman or you either bring in someone like Byron Thomas Jr. or Ladd McConkey, who we wanted to bring in anyways. You keep Saquon Barkley. You don't trade for Brian Burns, and you keep Xavier McKinney. You still can rebuild your offensive line to the way you want it, to bring in the same guys because you still have the same additional cap space. You're not a 2-win team. And you have your quarterback of the future. Brian Thomas Jr. only scored a touchdown because the Raiders realized they were winning and played no coverage, and they were jogging. No, that was pretty fun, though. He's got no yak. Nope, none whatsoever. Todd Taylor says the only one that played clearly doesn't care. He clearly didn't care. The ball wasn't coming to him. It wasn't his problem. It really was with Malik Neighbors. That really bothers me. There was a couple things that with Malik Neighbors has really been bothering me. And I've pointed it out, and people are going to blast me for it, but I pointed it out because it's just, to your point, Todd, if he's not the focal point of the offense, he just doesn't seem to care. And that's kind of scary. Trenton says, Tim is the only realistic Giant content creator for the reason that's why I watch him. Well, thank you, Trenton, because you are an Eagle fan. You are an Eagle fan. Go Birds. Malik, let's see. Neighbors did make a couple. No, I'm not saying, listen, Neighbors is an all-world talent. I'm not saying he's not. I'm not saying Malik Neighbors is not immensely talented, but okay. I'm going to give everyone I'm going to give everyone some homework over the Christmas vacation. Michael Penix is sitting there sitting there, and to each his own, but he's sitting there and he's praying with Kirk Cousins. He speaks eloquently. He has this command of this presence in the English language, and he's just this guy that you see and you're just like, that's a guy I want leading my franchise. That's the face of my franchise. Malik Neighbors says 4 words and half of them are ain't. Just saying, watch the difference between the interviews and see which one do you really want to be the talking point of your franchise. Todd Taylor's talking about penalties. He just wasn't interested on the play. Ran in motion like an old. I don't get these pre-motion snap penalties by Malik Neighbors is killing me. It's literally killing me. And the fact he gets no yak. Tim needs to look at the live stream tape. I had to. Taz says, what's up, Taz? Hey, Tim, will you trade Kenny Pickett for Dexter Lawrence in the 3rd rounder? I think Shane will do that right away. Oh, Shane will do that right away. And first of all, we all know it's shown. James Williams says, we are a dumpster fire on a floating barge of garbage in a cesspool of the sea. And that's being nice. Trenton also comes back with, Tim, please start an Eagles YouTube channel. You are more of an Eagles fan than the pessimistic fan base I suffer through. Oh, I love Eagle fans. I love Eagle fans because Eagle fans, now they're winning, they're never fucking happy. I'm surrounded by Eagle fans. They're just never happy. You beat the Panthers. You would have thought you lost. You were still in that game. Devontae Smith catches that pass like he normally would. Game is over. So, I mean, and listen, this was the first time the Commanders had beaten a team this year with a winning record. And it came right at the right time. Eagles are still going to clinch the division. Their defense is still, I mean, yesterday was not a good indication, but their defense is still a championship defense. Blackbird says Dable and Joe already picked their quarterback when they re-signed Daniel Jones, and we've talked about that a million times. You're 100% right. Cream says, hey, how's it going, Tim? Online Big Blue Chat. Everything's going well. Let's see here. Mr. Taz says we're not pessimistic against Eagles. We just pessimistic again. Kenny Pickett sucks. Kenny Pickett does suck. Blackbird says Kirk Cousins robbed the Falcons. He only has one playoff win in his whole career, and he has he's got a hell of an agent. You get $100 million guaranteed from Atlanta. And then they're going to get rid of you next year. But don't worry, he's going to be a giant. Everyone picked his every duck and everyone's duck. Another pick six is going to pass us. You're right. The dumbest thing would be going down the same path as Chicago Bears and keep that GM that's on the verge of being fired. Pick a quarterback. I don't think Ryan Poles is going to get fired. I think Ryan Poles, if anything, he's going to get fired because he picked the wrong head coach. Let's say Rizzo says Penix played better competition in college and is a better quarterback than Sanders and Ward. What a giant thing to do. I don't know if he's a better quarterback yet than those two, because I don't know what those two are yet. I do think that both Ward and Sanders are immensely talented. I think they're the only two quarterbacks in the draft. People will take, Big Don look at Kyle McCord and, and other players, and what's in Dart and things. But I do think that each of them are worthy. Ward and Sanders are both worthy of a top 5 pick, even in last year's draft. They would probably be in the top 5. Kirk Cousins made more money and accomplished nothing than most of the quarterbacks have ever played this game. Good for him. Kirk Cousins is a successful Daniel Jones. James Williams says they're black. But I know I'm way behind on the chat, but yes, that's the problem. They're black. I'll say it. I don't care. Hey Tim. Big Giants win yesterday. We have the number 1 pick. We had the number 1 pick going into the game. Will Sanders live up to his name? Charlie wants to know. No. Because right now, Deion's a Hall of Famer. Deion's a Super Bowl champion. Deion is one of the best cornerbacks ever to come out of college. Deion was one of the best quarterbacks ever in college. You have to have a Hall of Fame multi-championship career and be dynamic on multiple portions of the field for you to live up to the Sanders name. Can he be a really, really good quarterback and win championships? Yes. But to live up to the Sanders name, no, not yet. He's got a long way to go, and that is a big ask for this kid. What do you think the Giants, let's see here. What do you think the Giants likely choose if they have the first overall pick, Cam or Sanders? I think they'll go Sanders due to the jersey sales and the image. First overall pick, who do I think the Giants would go to? I personally think that the Giants, if they have the first overall pick, will go Carson Beck. I don't think the Commanders will win 10 games, possibly 11. I'm happy for my home. I think the Commanders are great, man. I'm happy for the Commanders, man. The Commanders really, like I said, when they put together, you have to remember the NFL set guidelines in place years ago that if you have a plethora of cap space, you need to spend it. You have to spend like 95% of that cap space, because what teams were doing before this rule with the collective bargaining agreement and the TV revenue sharing, you had owners like Bill Bilwell over in Arizona who they weren't putting a quality product on. Not looking at you, John Mayer. They weren't putting a quality product, but they were pocketing the TV revenue. So the NFL came out and said, you have to go out and spend the money. So when the Commanders went out and spent that money, I kept saying to people, they may be getting older guys, but they're getting older guys in the right positions, and they drafted extremely well. Let's see here. That move Daniel put on Jaden was a playback for the Carter, lifting him on one arm a little while back. You're probably right. Let's see here. Dark Fiend says the Giants Reddit arguing with me, Tim, arguing that Dable and Shane aren't that bad. They are tanking and being a bad on purpose. Tim is going to be okay. We need to keep everyone. No, we can't. There is no way humanly possible. Well, there is a way humanly possible because we're the Giants that you could keep these knuckleheads. There's really not. I can't see it. I really can't. How? How for the grace of God can you do that? What do we got here? Also, I don't believe Mara understands how to put together a modern NFL franchise, not UFL, not NFL. Start over, hire a director of football operation who knows what they're doing, sell the team to someone who does. Astro, we've talked about this a million times. I'm the Giants. I am hiring a president of football operations, or you can call him the vice president of football operations. And that person is going to be in charge of everything. I wanted it to be Bill Belichick because I didn't want Belichick to be the coach or the general manager. I wanted him just to be in charge of everything. He picks the general manager, then him and the general manager pick the head coach, and then that collective builds together and starts working and putting this franchise back together. The scouting staff of this team is horrible. Listen, you can don't sell me manure and tell me it's not shit. Just because you call it manure doesn't mean it's not shit. If it looks like shit, if it smells like shit, if it tastes like shit, it's shit. Joe Shane's drafts have been shit. I don't want to hear about this year because this year you don't know a draft for 3 years. But everyone that's talking about how great this young secondary is with Phillips and everyone else, the league is completing 70% of their passes. We're number one in the league against this young secondary. Drew Phillips, who does not have a pass defense, the league is completing 75% of their passes against him for over 10 yards. The secondary is horrible. Drew Phillips is not. I mean, I watched Drew Phillips play. The shoulder tackles are killing me still. You can't just throw your shoulder in, knock someone off, and then get shocked when they run fucking past you. We only are hyping up Drew Phillips like we did other Aaron Robinson. We Trey Hawkins. I love people that are hyping up Dane Belton. And every time I watch a touchdown pass, I see a guy with a ponytail hanging out his helmet on behind the trailer as the trailer. Oh, it's Dane Belton. Like I said, don't piss down my leg and tell me it's fucking raining because I know better. We know better. We're Giant fans. We know garbage. Garbage in, garbage out. Avery says if we keep getting worse, someone suggested not drafted quarterback and even oh my God. No, Archie's not coming out to 2026. The Mannings have been known for staying in college for 4 years. Maybe there's a chance we could talk to Flores, work things out. He can come back on board with all the odds. I'm sure Goodell would want that. Brian Flores, who of course sued the Giants for racism, is not coming here. Yeah, I would love to see the very first Brian. I would love to see the very first Brian Flores news conference. I hold on. Where is it? Brian, yes, the Art Stapleton Daily News. You sued the Giants for racism. Okay, that ended the press conference. Malik Neighbors quit. Yes, he did. He quit. He literally that touchdown touchdown interception for 55 yards. There was still at least 30 yards to go. He stopped running. He's like, yeah. That's too far for me. I'm not gonna run that far because I don't have any yak. Nevers is in on the tank. He wants a new quarterback more than anyone else. Yes, but you can't. He just can't. I'm sorry. Could the Giants have drafted Penix and Lamicaki in the second round? We'd be in good shape. I would prefer him over Sanders and Ward. I would take either Penix, Sanders, or Ward. And like I said, I liked Keenan Coleman. Coming out. And I said it before. Trade out of that 6 spot, get assets, pick up someone like Penix. Either grab Coleman in the second round or jump back up and try to grab someone late in the first. And then you fixed your offense. Vinny G says, if you think it'd be better to pick Sanders or Ward because our O-line is bad, Ward won't have the time in the pocket. Ward is mobile. Ward in some ways is more mobile than Penix. I think Sanders, what worries me about Sanders is at times he's a chucker. He is I'm just going to throw it up to Travis Hunter and see what happens. And he's not going to have Travis Hunter. So Trent says, thanks, man. Oh, you're welcome. Dr. Garrett's Amelia Pepsin isn't going to get it done this year. Who's actually going to go to the game? Thanks, everyone, for Big Don in the membership. Of course, Petra. What's up, Petra? Of course, quarterback week 1 embarrasses us. The org is making me depressed. I can't even watch even more either. But I do think it's hilarious, though, that the football gods basically said,
Thou shalt see the Penix. And on the third day, Penix won his first start.
Neighbors get so many Neighbors, that's the problem, Blackbird. And I think certain people are starting to see this. He has the most targets in the league. And he's only got like a catch percentage of like 50. I mean, and the drops. But he doesn't care about the drops. Just throw him the damn ball. I may drop it half the time, but just throw it to me, dude, because I'm not going to get any yak. Let's see. Your neighbors never wanted to come here. When he saw that he was looking at his houses in L.A., they should have taken him off the draft board. He should never shown our mandatory activities. You're right. Dr. Garrett says, to be honest, what will your reaction be if Shane is given a year and the presser in January? I quit. If they bring Joe Shane back, I fucking quit. I turn off the lights. I cancel my season tickets. And I become an Eagles fan. This will be online green sports entertainment. What is it here? It is December 23rd, 12:08. If Joe Shane is back next year, I quit. I'm done. We're not drafting Kyle McCord, no matter how good he plays in the bowl game. I'm actually going to watch that bowl game. Blackbird says, I have to admit, I didn't want Neighbors coming out of the I did like Neighbors coming out of the draft. Mayor's being forced to draft a black quarterback. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I've said it a million times before. These two guys don't match the drapes. The Giants have talent. The Giants have talent. They are better than a 2-win team. The Giants are better than a 2-win team. They're at least a 5-win team. What's up, Matthew? Don't talk to James. James is being punished. I will hope he's giving Cameron Sanders as many chances as Danny Dimes. He better give him that. What does Michael says? Send this and bring excitement to MetLife. That's quarterback. I agree. James says, what's there? Good afternoon, Tim in the chat. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I hope the season has a good season in 2025 with a regime with a new head coach, a new general manager, a new owner, a new ticket vendor, and a new franchise quarterback. Good times ahead. Merry Christmas to everyone, to you and yours as well. Damian says we probably would have won 7 games if the guys on the Falcons blew us out. It's I don't know. This team is, like I said, I lived through the 70s. I lived through the Andy Robustello years. I lived through the horridness of Andy Robustello. Hey, I wonder if I unplugged the camera. What happens if we unplug the camera? Sometimes in technical purposes, if you don't smack it, you just unplug it and see what happens here. Let's see. Oh, it oscillated. It oscillated and did nothing. Well, that did nothing. Let's see if I can switch cameras. Hold on. Let's see if we can switch cameras. I like being in the high scale camera here. Oh, no, that did shit. Like the Giants, my camera doesn't work. Michael says Sanders will bring excitement in and hope as a quarterback of the New York Giants will be back. I hope so. I really do. Kyle Pitt is overrated. I talked about the fact that I talked about when Kyle Pitt came out. You can't take a tight end that high. And I saw him more as an Evan Ingram. Smith dropped them in. You're right. Yeah, the Eagle game, you're right. Matthew says, in other words, are most likely to pick us. Let's see here. Seriously, Evan Neal's got to go. This is the thing, because we said it before.
Some people think I'm a genius, but you can't really screw up 5 and 7.
Yeah, well, you screwed up 5 with Casper the Friendly Ghost, who just looks disinterested at times. Brian Burns on a couple of those running plays looked just lost. It looked like he had no clue what he was doing. And Brian, once again, our bookend Ghost Brothers.
Submitted for your approval. The Ghost Brothers. Nobody needs
to be afraid.
They disappear. I disappear. Damien says, I think the New York will have a race problem, but it is becoming one. I don't think New York's have a race problem, but I think it's becoming one. I don't, like I said, we've talked about it before. I don't think the Giants selection of quarterbacks is racially motivated. But you have to pause because you got to remember we've talked about it before. You went Phil Simms for 16 years or whatever it was, 14 years. Then you drafted Dave Brown. You had that 5-year crap with Brown, Cannell, Graham. And then you landed on Kerry Collins. Then you had Kurt Warner. Then you landed on Eli Manning. So there really wasn't an opportunity to draft a quarterback much. I mean, a starting quarterback, but you could have taken one. We are the only franchise right now, like I said, that's never drafted an African-American quarterback. So, I mean, say what it is. Sanders will be much better franchise quarterback than Penix. I hope so. I hope to God he is. Or Sanders going to be, or is Sanders going to be the guy? I really don't know what they're doing. Kirk Cousins was coming off an injury too and still gave him 180. It's not the fact that they gave him 180. It was the fact that they guaranteed 100 of it. That's what the problem is. Clean house. Bring in John Dorsey to run football operations. No, it's actually that's actually not a terrible idea. Blackbird says, I'll take Ward over Sand. I'm still leading to that. I'm still leading to Ward. Much appreciated, Dom. There was a Tibbs sighting yesterday. Yeah. I cited him leaving the fucking building. Oh, our issues really just stem from our horrible GM picks. We have no. I mean, we've gone through the drafts, guys. And his claim to fame, Dave Shane, was he was signing Gettleman picks. He re-signed Andrew Thomas, re-signed Dexter Lawrence. At one point in time, he re-signed Dale Jones. He re-signed Xavier. Didn't re-signed Saquon Barkley or tag Saquon Barkley. But then he lets the likes of Julian Love go. You dumped Nick McLeod because you didn't have enough cap space. We could use a corner, and he only started like 5 games. You see these drafts. He got rid of
King of the almost sack
because of the fact that he didn't have any cap space to sign a quarterback. And now I love it because Giant fans are like, we got $60 million in cap space, baby. You got $60 million without a fucking quarterback. If you still had Daniel Jones on this roster, you would have $25 million. Oh my God, Lord have mercy, baby. Oh, what's up, baby? Matthew, what's going on, Matthew? But do the Giants? I know they've scattered equally. I love Cam's talent and attitude and upsides. Would the Giants want to stay away from the Deion circus? It's the ball scenario. It's Lorenzo and LaMelo. You got to come with the dad. The dad's coming. But the difference is Deion has so much cachet about him that it's crazy. That it's just nuts. Mr. 305, baby. Gregory Rousseau. Remember when I wanted to draft that bum? Mr. 305. I'm not you're 315, but I'm thinking 305 because he had a big play. He had a couple big plays again yesterday. He's coming up like 7-up. Carson Beck, nope. Just joking. Ralph says different position, bro. He will have the ball in his hands enough. Who will have his balls in his hands enough? What are we talking about? What did I miss? The Commanders haven't had a real quarterback since RG3 in his first year. They haven't won 10 games since RG3's first year. You're right. You're right. Skyline says, if Shane and Dable get fired, would you hire Joe Douglas? No. He drafted good players and managed their cap well. Yeah, but I just can't do that. I just can't do that. I love the people that want to bring in former, and I'm Scott, I'm not saying you, but there's certain segments of creators that want to bring in like former failed Jets defensive coaches and head coaches and bring them here. Oh, great balls of fire. What do we got here? We got the big old super chat from Kevin coming in strong saying, so the Giants, ready for the Giants to select their first African-American quarterback, Elon Musk in the draft of 2025. I will say this. we never shy away from the race topic here. Never do. Because it's part of life. Is it if the Giants get the first overall pick or even the second and trade out, or let's say they get the first pick and they go Travis Hunter, is there a moment to pause? Yes. There's a big moment to pause. Because if they then go deeper in the draft and get like a Kyle McCord or a Riley Leonard or Dart or someone like that, yeah, you have to pause for a second, and you got to kind of think. Are the Giants going to go into I don't know. Like I said, it's so difficult to figure out. It really is. It's just one of those things. You look at it and you just kind of you're gonna kind of pause for a minute and kind of go from there. And that's yeah. Where's it gonna go? Where's it gonna say yeah? Oh yeah, Andre Woodson. I forgot about 2008. You're right. Out of the big arm quarterback out of Kentucky. That's right. We forgot about Andre Woodson. I forgot all about Andre Woodson. All right, so look at that. The Giants aren't racist. Brian Bird. What about Brian Birds for head of football operations? What does it say? So one award makes you better. So one award makes you better. I don't know. James Williams says, I love you, Tim. I love you more than Joe Shane's Uncrustables. But if we pass on Warren Sanders, then the Giants are definitely racist. Let's see here. Oh, you're arguing with Solid Boy. Michael says, hi, Tim. Merry Christmas to you and your family and all that. And yes, some loved ones love your show. Thank you. I always know you do that, Michael. What do we got here? Big Task says, happy holidays, everyone. Hope all is well. Everything's good. Let's see. Todd says, I can't get over how easily tight ends handle tight ends 101. Boggles the mind. Team use offensive lineman, running back, tight end all at once for guys with White and Taylor, Tibbs, and backup tight end is enough. Okay. Ward or Miller? I'm taking Ward. Has the Giants ever had a black head coach? No. You realize the Giants have only had 7 general managers? Think about it, 7 general managers. And we've had 2 now that have just been horrible. Let's see here. We had an African-American GM stop fans say the Giants are racist or dumb. They'll draft a black quarterback. Relax, nerds. Hey, Collusion, fuck off. I got an idea, Collusion.
Get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
It's Christmas, so I'm going to be nice to you, Collusion. I'm going to block you and tell you to drink a big tall glass and shut the fuck up, because people can say whatever they want and people can have their own opinion. So for you to call people's nerds as you're sitting there on your little computer typing away, shut the fuck up. Don't go away, man. Just go away. It's the holiday season. Mike Glenn, what's up? As a GM and coach, if you looked at the right team and thought it was ready to compete, you need to be a fan and not a coach or a GM. Wow. Okay. That literally summed it up. You're right. He let McKinney go on a fire. You let McKinney go. That is a fireable offense. You don't even you don't think you're bringing Xavier McKinney back because you don't think he's the number 1 safety in this league, which he is right now. You let him go for nothing. You don't trade him. You don't trade Saquon Barkley. Those are all fireable offenses. You give Daniel Jones $160 million. You trade for Brian Burns. You give him $120. You trade assets then for Darren Waller, who was 2 years removed from being good. You think that's fireable offenses too. Your first draft on 5 and 7, fireable offenses. You may not pick up the 5th-year option next year on either Neal or Thibodeau. They're all fireable offenses. I'm sitting here thinking to myself with John Mayer, what do you see? What do you see? And then I love it because you already have the segment of the Giants beat writer community, which they already own, saying, well, you really got to give Shane another chance. You gave your coach a garbage roster. You mismanaged the cap now for 3 seasons. You've mismanaged the draft. You traded up one spot to get Banks, and then the team that was behind you didn't even take a corner. Ward isn't going. Number 1, Sanders is. You never know. I don't know. Like I said, we have to wait and see. Miguel says the new GM has to dump 25 players at least. I agree. We did a video, I think week 6, where we broke down the number of players that would be on playoff teams on the Giants, number of starters. So we took 22 of the starters, and I think we came up with 3 or 4 that would probably be starters on a playoff team. And one of them was Kayvon Thibodeau. And I said, even that's iffy. Let's see here. Circus when he's black, silence when it's a Manning family. You're right. I'm not like I said, everyone has their opinions. So it's just the way it is. Daryl says, what is it with the fan base and wanting to roster fill the choir boards? Brandon Brown said it best. You don't go out and get a guy. Most wide receivers are divas, and the good ones are assholes. The only problem is the asshole level of Malik Neighbors is not equaling talent level. Like I said, I think he's all world talent, 100%. But when you have the most targets in the league, you're barely catching 50% of your passes, and you don't have any yak. And Brian Thomas Jr. just went over 1,000 yards and went 9 touchdowns. Oh, that could be that would be a long pause indeed. That would need to be a long pause indeed. Travis Hunter, I am the one who deactivated his Instagram because his fiance is a gold tanger. Cam Ward, easy. I'm happy with either. I'm happy with Ward or Sanders. I don't understand some fans. We might get the number 1 pick and they don't want a quarterback when they want one over the last 6 years. That is what actually Evan is insanity at its finest. Last year's draft was the quarterback draft. That 2000, like I said, 2004, 83. It was one of those drafts. We don't take a quarterback. This draft has 2 quarterbacks, and that's it. And we have an opportunity to get one of those guys, and now we have a segment of the family. No, we don't want to take a quarterback. I'll be happy for Sanders. I'll be ecstatic for Ward. I'll be happy for either one. People need to stop bringing up Woodson. That man was never going to be our backup. No, but you know what? He had a big career in Kentucky. I mean, he was, I know he was MVP of 2 bowl games. He was second team all SEC. He that last season he threw the season prior he had 30 touchdowns. He threw 40 touchdowns the next year. He was a kid with a big arm. You thought he had talent, but you're right. He never was going to do it. And Diaz says, well, we did have Geno Smith. You're right. Geno Smith got the doo-doo fire. Dorsey was part of the Kansas City turnaround table for Mahomes, but Baker made Brown relevant, spent time with the Eagles in 2002, been with Detroit the last few seasons. I kind of like the John Dorsey thing. I didn't actually think about the John Dorsey thing. Doctor said, based on Sanders' history, Neil and Kayvon would get extensions or Schoen's history. Shane, it's not Shane, it's Schoen. Thank you. Evan Neal had that penalty. Yeah, Evan Neal's just bad. Walla Walla. I already miss Walla Walla Waller. I really do. Mara's now Sleepy John. Blackbird said the Jags didn't even want Banks. They didn't. They didn't. That was the best part. We leapfrogged them to get Banks, even though the team behind us didn't even want a corner because they had just taken a quarter number 1 the year before and first round last year, the year prior to that. Who then they turned around and traded. The Joe's pressers on us has been 1 score away, has been outscored 140-59, take out Dallas, and we're 113-39. Everyone needs to be fired. What's up, Glenn? What's going on, man? You're right. You were right. True. We needed to clean house, mafia style, and draft Cam. We just need to get rid of everyone. Schwartz and Stapleton, may the Schwartz be with you, are minions of the mouthpieces of the organization, not journalists. Dugans and Leonard call out the bullshit. I think you're right. Let's see here. Dexton Burns would be starters on playoff teams. Dexton Burns. Dex would be a starter. Burns, no. I think some playoff teams he would be a rotational guy. Bobby O, no. Bobby O is suffering this year from the Blake Martinez syndrome in year 2. Did Okereke? No, Okereke's injured. Let's see here. Miguel says, I wonder if the Giants will reach out to you and ask you to stop bashing Shane. Hold on. Oh, I got a call from the Giants right now. I'm not gonna show you about it, talk about it, but I got a call right now from the Giants. What about in year 7 of an Vic over Sanders or Ward? You're right. Ralph Max says, Mac the Knife, we're talking pedigree Sanders has over potential. Y'all say Ward has. Here, Ralph, I think you're new here because I don't remember your and I remember most people. What pedigree does Sanders have? Dion was never a quarterback. It's different when you take like John Runyon Jr. and say, he's got the pedigree of his father, John Runyon Sr. They don't even play similar positions, so there is no pedigree. He was an NFL player, but he was an all-time NFL player. Barry Sanders' son. How did Barry Sanders' son do? How did Walter Payton's son do? And Walter Payton Jr. played at Miami and played the same position as his father. How did those guys make out? That's pedigree. How did they make out? Just throwing that out there. I don't think the Cowboys will win yesterday. I didn't think they were going to win either. Trent says, I think my dad added 5 years to his life by not watching his team this year. Let's see here. Mara is lucky Woody Johnson exists. You're right. And he's in the same building. You're not. What is your favorite Christmas song? Well, that's actually a weird question. My favorite Christmas song is Elvis Presley, If I'll Be Home for Christmas, and Nat King Cole, Silent Night. If I had to pick. Mark says, under Gruden, the Oakland finished 12-4 in 2020. It was his first successful season in a decade. It was the first division title since 1990 and reached the NFC playoffs. If in Tampa, he won a Super Bowl. Yeah. Okay. I like Big John. I already said he should get another chance. And I've already said, like I said, I worked under Big John. I've said it before. I would love for Gruden to come here. I don't think his act is going to play as well in New York as it did in Tampa and Vegas. And what he wrote in those emails were nothing that you never heard in an NFL locker room before. And he's at about the 8,000 emails where he's the only one that got caught or only one that got chastised. So I got a problem with that. Whatever happened to Quinn? The mighty Quinn? Yeah, he's still there. It would be funny if Daniel Jones turned out to be a good quarterback. Well, you know what? The good news about that is we're never going to have to worry about that. We are never going to have to worry about that one happening. I'm going to put the Bruce Matthews' son was pretty good. There's another good example. Okay, here you go. I'm going to put the link in the chat. Because I want to hear what people have to say. I'll be home for Christmas. If I get home on Christmas Day, I won't need soft words to say. I love you and I will stay a while. I see it in your face and in your smile. So great. Now you got me singing Elvis. Gruden, the coach, and his brother, quarterback coach for Ward and Sanders. I would take Gruden. I would. Like I said, I would not put him in charge of everything. Kind of like they got rid of McKenzie. And McKenzie 2 years prior, actually their team under Jack Del Rio, after they had drafted Khalil Mack and Carr the year before, really had something cooking until Carr broke his collarbone. And they missed the playoffs. And they made the playoffs, but they had to start the rookie in the playoffs. And then they basically got rid of McKenzie and brought in Gruden to run the whole operation. I would bring in Gruden as the coach. I wouldn't bring him as the GM and everyone else. Would you want a GM and head coach if they cleaned house? Who would you want? Like I said, I like Reggie McKenzie. I thought he would be what he's done. He helped rebuild at times that Green Bay team. People forget about that. He also what he did over with Oakland and LA and the Raiders. Coach wise, I would want an experienced guy. I would want an experienced guy. I don't know who yet, but I would want someone that could come in here. Joe Rev says, talking pedigree, how did Phil Simpson do? Just asking for a run. Chris Sims went to Texas, barely had a difficult time beating out Major Applewhite, was drafted second round by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers the year I was there. He also basically flamed out, but he had a spleen injury as well a couple years prior after he was named starting quarterback, but he flamed out. Daniel Jones turns into Vanilla Vic in year 8. Yeah. I think if that happened, I think James would have a conniption. I think James would jump off a building if literally that even came close to happening. If I get home on Christmas Day, they won't need soft words to say. Way to go. Now you got me singing Elvis songs. Now you got me singing Christmas songs. Oh, what do we got here going on here? What are people messaging me for? Stop messaging me. I love this. Amon, the irrational fan chief police says Art Stapleton blocked him, but I don't know what's going on with people. This whole community is just crazy. This whole community is just nuts. I love when people send me shit that I don't know. Okay. Let me get back to this though. Oh, you're sorry. You're very welcome. Let's see here. Mark says Cam Ward under Gruden. I would take Ward. I would take Or Sanders. I really don't. I think that whomever you pick, it's gonna have to be predicated on the style of your head coach. Because while Ward and Sanders are similar, they are two very different quarterbacks. And I think if you are going to go with a more standard style offense, then don't get me wrong. Ward can move, but if you're going to go with more of a standard NFL style offense, you go Cam Ward. If you're going to go with a little bit more motion, you're going to go with a little bit more what Washington's doing. Then that's what you're going to have to do. LeVar says, let's talk, Tim. I'm here. Well, okay, let's talk. Joe just called me and told me that you should stop making fun of him and reminded me of the time he took us to the playoffs and re-signed Dexter Lawrence. Hey, Mr. Alvarez says, hey, Tim, if Stefanski gets fired by the Browns, would you give him a chance? Also, would you feel about Ken Dorsey as OC if you keep Dable? If you keep Dable, I quit. If you keep Shane, I quit. If you keep Schoen, I quit. So it won't really matter to me. And people are like, well, you quit once before and you came back. No, I will literally fucking quit. I will cancel my season tickets the day they announce it. I will put my PSLs out on the PSL website and sell those. And I will never watch another Giant game. It's plain and simple. It's because of the fact that you have been treading water as a franchise for almost 11 years. We talk about the 70s and how bad the 70s were. But even towards the tail end of the 70s, you took Phil Simms in 79. Then a couple of years later, you drafted Lawrence Taylor. You made the play. You got a good coach in Ray Perkins. You made the playoffs in 81. You had the chance to make the playoffs in 82, but you had the strike shortened season. And then you had the 3-12 in 1 year in the Bill Parcells because you went with the wrong quarterback. You went with Scott Bruner over Phil Simms. And if I hear one more moron Giant beat writer have to fucking tell me, well, if we would have fired Bill Parcells after 3-12 and 1, we wouldn't have those championships. The Giants had a championship style defense in 81. Look at the team. If you go to the 1983 Giant roster. And we're going to go to the roster here. I'm going to show you how stupid Giant beat writers are. And they talked to us about how this team had, how the team had no talent and there was a turnaround by the Giants. On that team, on that 3-12-1 team in 1983, you already had your starting quarterback and Phil Simms on that team. You already had him. You had another piece of the puzzle there with Zeke Mowat. He was also on that team. People forget Joe Morris was already on that team. Waiting. You had Lawrence Taylor. You had, at the time, we got rid of him though, but you had Pro Bowl linebackers and Brian Kelly, Brian Valpelt, Lawrence Taylor, and Harry Carson. You had Mark Haynes, who made a Pro Bowl that season. You had Terry Jackson, who was a good player. You had Harry Carson. You also had Terry Kennard, Jerome Salley, both contributors on the 86 playoff team. You had Jim Burt, Leonard Marshall. I think they speak for themselves. You still had George Martin on that team. You had Andy Hedden. You had Lawrence Taylor. That team had talent. This team does not have talent. So when you do a disservice by saying that, because George Young, after drafting Sims, after hiring Perkins, after then allowing Perkins to go to Alabama, then picking up Bill Parcells, you had Bill Belichick, you had Romeo Corral, you had all these guys on that team already in 83 in place to kick over into 84. So for you to say that is one of the stupidest things I've ever fucking heard. You had half the 86 roster on the 83 team. You had Pro Bowl Hall of Fame linebackers already on this team. You had your starting quarterback already on the team. You had just made the playoffs 2 seasons prior, and you probably would have made the playoffs in 82 if it wasn't for the strike and Perkins leaving to go take over for Bear Bryant. Oh, play the joke soundbite. Let's see here. Todd says, I'll take Ken Dorsey at quarterback coach at this point. I would take Ken Dorsey at quarterback as well. I think he played well at Miami. Sure, Stefanski is already coming back. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Daniel says, as I said, it was and is the coach and the play calling. It still is. Should rephrase that. A large segment of Giant fans bashed Jason Garrett. Unimaginative, terrible offense. And I pointed out to people during those early seasons with Jason Garrett that he had some of the best offensive game plans I had seen the Giants call in years since Coughlin, since 2007, 2011, since those days. And it was the failed execution and the fact that he was using limited plays because he was turning around and limiting the mistakes of of Daniel Jones. But he had some of the best drawn up offensives that I've seen for the Giants in years. And I told people, I said, he went in the booth. I said, but if he went someplace else, he would probably be a really good offensive coordinator. The Dogwater Giants, the Giants should move to Canada. Trent says, Tim, I would invite you to sing your Christmas songs at my church service on Tuesday. I'll be there. Santa, bring my baby back to me. I don't need a lot of presents
To make my Christmas bright, I'll just need my baby's arms blown around me. Also, Santa, hear my plea. Santa, bring my baby back to me.
I think Cousins is the Browns next year's quarterback. Why not? Why not? They get so many problems. Let's see here. Dark Fences. I only asked Stefanski because he was a very small rumor that he might get fired. I don't know if it's true or not. I was just asking about a possibility. It's fine. It's fine, Mr. Roberts. You know that. You're all good. Stanley says, hey, Tim, if the Giants fire Shane and Dable, what's going to push the franchise back another 5 years if we keep both of them and rebuilding the process, just like 1 to 2, 3 year process? When we inked Daniel Jones to $160 million, the same day, I did a video and said, this is going to set the team back 5 years. Once again, people are like, you have no idea what you're talking about because it's got a 2-year out on the deal, man. You know what you're talking about. I said it very simply. If he flames out the first year, that's year 1, which he did. And if he flames out the first year, more likely you're gonna have to bring back the second year no matter what, which we did. Flamed out. We still owe $22 million in dead cap number in year 3. So you're going to draft your quarterback now in year 3 after being bad for 2 years. So that's already year 3. You hope that your quarterback maturates in year 2, so that's already year 4, and you hope he turns a corner in year 5, and you've built the roster around, so that's 5 years. And I think it's still going to take longer than that. What team has ever drafted a white cornerback? Didn't the Giants take Giants have. Let's see here. I miss Tyrod Taylor. So do I. Let's see here. Todd says Giants will draft a white quarterback 85 years later. Another team did. Lol. Dominic! Afternoon, all. The season is officially over yet. Yeah, we have now come to the conclusion that the Giants will be forfeiting their last 2 games of the season. Another question I have about Sean is if the team is called the Giants, why does he draft so many undersized players? I laugh to this day because we all remember this. We all remember because you just can't forget it. And I think the Montreal Canadiens will never allow us to forget it. Did I delete it? I think I deleted it. I think they were so ugly that I deleted it. Of course I didn't delete it. We all remember this fiasco. This was the start of the 100-year downfall. This we were supposed to wear this like 3 times during the season. It went over. First of all, it looks like a soccer jersey. It looks like a rugby, not soccer. It looks like a hockey jersey. Montreal Canadiens are pissed. It looks like a rugby jersey. It just and you got the shit color pants. You got the shit color brown pants because we do stink. But this was if you want to pinpoint the downfall of the 2024 Giants, it's this right here. This was the worst idea in the history of the Giants. You could have literally just went with the 1950s uniforms or the 1960s uniforms. Kept it simple. But no, we went with this. We went with this retro, crazy, whatever the fuck you want to call it thing. And we just went downhill from there. You couldn't, and I understand they were trying to blend in the 100-year anniversary of the organization of the team and everything such as that. And I love it though, because of the fact that, now you guys are probably not going to know this, but none of us were around 100 years ago. So we're not going to remember a lot of the stuff that you're going to do. We're not going to remember a lot of this stuff from 100 years ago. You could have just kept it simple. You could have kept it. We remember, some of us remember the uniforms in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s because of the fact that we brought them back a couple times prior to that. But we were just, our stupidity was just so, I don't even know what you want to say, was just, maybe it was our stupidity and our arrogance that we were going to do something that was just so out of the ordinary. And we've watched other teams get ridiculed for doing this. We could have just did this. That's what we could have did. 1950s Giants. Kept it simple. We had the red throwback jerseys before. We've always had the blue helmet with the right stripe. But no, you go into a shit show and then you only wear the uniforms once because they were so universally panned. Schoen and Dable get fired would be a huge upgrade to the roster, and I hate to say it, but Gettleman was a better general manager. You're not wrong. Dark Fiend says, the Merry Christmas, at least we can enjoy the holidays with the Giants being on TV. You're 100% right. It'll be Christmas miracle if we did forfeit. We should just forfeit. Get rid of McDonald, get rid of Barrett, get rid of Abrams. That's when we can actually start moving in the right direction. I agree. I was going to say that is an insult to soccer jerseys. Those that do not know, go on Dom's soccer channel. It's the channel is called Dom's Soccer Channel. Arsenal Domination, I think. I'm not good with names. Just go there. Looks like he's wearing tube socks. Yeah, but that's what we did back in the day. That's no, I get that before anyone fucking starts. I'm not that old. That's not me chasing him down. All right, I'm not that old. But just look how classic that is. And it would have been awesome if they didn't wear face masks. That would have been freaking awesome. What did Boomer Science say? Boomer Science is convinced John Green will be a long-term return. Will be a long way to return to the coaches, as he said on the fan show. Bermangino's a proven winner. I think you got to bring. I mean, I would bring him back. Why not? What are you doing, Dom? What's up? What's your name of your channel, Dom? Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. Come on. Tim, if you were the GM, what moves would you make in rounds 1 through 4? Well, I would take a quarterback. I would trade back up or trade, keep in the and take that. What's his name? The big running back. I can't think of his name. I would get another corner. I'd get a linebacker. Depends on also what I did in free agency. Build the O-line and D-line in the draft or getting a quarterback because those are fundamental, foundational pieces that we lack. You're right. Here's the thing that kills me, though, with people. We say, we don't need to draft a quarterback this year. Arsenal domination. Look at that. There you go. That's Dom's YouTube channel. It's Arsenal domination. So everyone go on Arsenal hyphenation and subscribe. There's a lot of good stuff on that channel about soccer. I got no fucking clue what he's talking about, but I watch it. I'm learning soccer through I'm learning soccer through absorbing the knowledge of Dominic Palmer. Yeah, that's what we're going with. Let's see. We got the build the O-line working team. So we also got here. I believe we need to clean house and then get our quarterback in the draft and build from there. Yeah, they are. Yeah, it is. Aren't they? Dom, isn't that the same guy that owns the Arsenal? Ty wants to know that. That would make sense. But we do things here that don't make sense. We like to not make sense because that would just make sense. I gotta figure out what the hell's wrong with my camera. I personally think it's the cable. I think I need a new cable. Dom, you're not going to answer the question about the Jacksonville Jaguar owner? Let's see. Many thanks. The channel is doing very well for 5 weeks. People might enjoy the flip-flop video. There are common denominators. No Rams owner owns the Arsenal. Okay, but doesn't the Jacksonville Jaguars own something, Dom? You know, Dom, you could just fucking come on the show real quick, and you could just tell us this shit instead of typing, because I'm kind of tired of reading. Has anything got anything intelligent to say about the Giants or good? Hey, you know, let's start a new game. Let's play a new game. Has anyone got anything good to say about the Giants? Anything? Has anyone got anything good to say about this team? I'm just curious. Let's see. What is he? Joey's going to say something good. Joe was going to say something good. Instead of Kayvon, we could have drafted Kyle Hamilton or Jordan Davis. Tyler Lindenbaum instead of Neal. We could have had Brian Branch instead of Burns, which we traded up to shaking my head. High end instead of such a. I said something good, man. I didn't say speak the truth and be right. I'm on a work call. Yeah, right. Like you got a job. Lamar says, where do we get help from Dexter and a better safety in the backfield? Oh, you mean like Xavier McKinney? Oh, they're in New York. Okay, that's good. We have the number 1 pick right now. We do. Okay, let's see. Greg says, happy holidays, everyone. Big thanks to T for running the best Giant channel on YouTube. His content is top notch. You know, Greg's been drinking, but thank you, Greg. The cleats are clean. Okay, we are going to go with, like I said, we're going good things about the Giants. Good. It's New Year's. It's New Year's and Christmas. You know what? Let's get some good stuff about the Giants. Let's say something nice about them. Tim has long-term memory. Oh, I do. Let's see here. Let's see. Tim, what are your thoughts on today's me attitude? Watch 2007, comment the players in the playoff game with the footage. There was no cringe celebrations, no gaudy accessories. It was telling. I'm old. And I come from I'm Gen X, come from a different era where you played hard, where you put in effort. And it's not that it was showboating was a bad thing, but if you were arrogant about your play, you had to back it up and you got called out when you didn't. Nowadays, an 8-yard catch is an event. 8-yard catch, you have to have some kind of celebration. And in my day, like I said, you if you were a rookie or a freshman, you didn't talk. You built up you built up your credibility. And even if you were building up your credibility in your rookie year or your freshman year, you still understood the hierarchy of the locker room. We don't do that here. We unretire the first number ever retired in the NFL and give it to a rookie who did nothing. And then we praise him for breaking the single season rookie Giant record for a number of catches, but we don't look at the fact that he only catches about 52% of his passes. He has tremendous drops. His effort is lacking at times. We pointed out today on that 55-yard interception, touchdown interception, he stopped running with about 30 yards to go. He also doesn't understand that you can't keep having these motion penalties. And he talks when he wants to talk, but then when something goes wrong, he doesn't want to talk anymore. So, I mean, like I said, it makes it difficult at times to watch, but it is what it is. I mean, that's the era we live in now. Paul says, a good thing about the Giants is that they're not the Jets. Well, wait, the season is almost over. That's a good thing. All right, there we go, Christian. I mean, I agree with Todd. Christian says, one good thing is I'll give them that they have nice planes and they fly over the stadium. The Giants have cool color patterns. See, look at this. We're doing good. I actually have engaged on the call now. Have a good Christmas. Have a good Christmas, everyone. Big Dom, I'll talk to you later. Dexter at the top in the league. Okay, there we go. Shout out to Antonio Pierce for defeating the Jacksonville Jaguars. Once a Giant, always the Giants. Would you oppose a trade what's Andrew Thomas and or Dexter Lawrence in a year or two? You know, Thomas, we talked about this before. With the maturation and the maturity of their contracts, you have to make a decision, especially on Andrew Thomas. Are they trade worthy, or are they still going to be good when this team turns the corner? You really kind of have to think about it. I'm not opposed to trading either one of them. Dexter is a fantastic player, but he's getting older. By the time Giants are top, he might be past his prime. I can't think of anything else good right now. Stanley says, hey, Tim, do you think a lot of college quarterbacks don't have the fundamentals down because of their spread system that they're playing in college? Yes. Most of the times, these quarterbacks play in these spread offenses. They're not under center, and that's kind of what the offense is going to right now. That's why defenses now are just trying to keep everything in front of themselves. We saved Saquon. We saved money for Saquon on the motor. Team is a joke. Mr. Alves says, hey, Tim, all the rookies in the draft class, who do you think will avoid the sophomore slump and become a player? Honestly, I don't think anyone will, to be honest. I'm still not enamored by this draft class at all. If you want any clown suits. All right, everyone. I'm going to go have lunch. I'm going to go wrap this shit up because I got stuff to do upstairs. We're not going to have anything going on until after the holidays because I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing any Giant shit until maybe Sunday. You can take a break. I do want to thank everyone that for this year and everyone that has supported the channel and everyone that has seen fit to follow this mess. And I mean more of the Giants, not us, because we are a mess here. But I just do want to thank everyone for all the well wishes that I get all year and everything that we do. And I want to wish everyone, make sure you have a safe holiday, whether it's Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. Just be safe, and let's let's love you guys too, Greg. I love all you guys as well. Let's speak about Saquon needs a quarterback to function. He looks like he was in New York with no quarterback. Right decision to let him go. He ran for 150 yards on 28 carries and 2 touchdowns. On that note, I'm not going to say anything mean because it is the Christmas holiday. This is Tim's New York Giants Straight Talk. Hi, everyone. I'm Big Blue LLC. I want to wish everyone a happy holiday. See ya in the upcoming year. Peace. We're out of here.